Hello, and welcome to coverage of Grand Prix Z for the MSAM format. This is Caillou, and today we're going to be watching a match between Hersey on Green-Blue Landstorm and Cajun on Red-White Cactax. So, this is kind of a weird matchup, I think, because Hersey, I think, will be way faster than Cajun. And this is weird, because Cajun is usually the beatdown, because Cactax is essentially like an aggressive deck, which also has mid-rangey elements because of the number of walkers and like high-impact threats it runs at the top of its curve. Hersey is essentially playing it like a combo deck. The sideboard can essentially backdoor into like a fair game plan, but I don't think that's something that Hersey wants in this matchup because Cajun, I think, in a fair matchup just thrashes Hersey. So what we saw is Hersey went turn 1 Seek Prophecy, which is our cantrip, and then turn 2 dropped a Land Aura. So this is how Landstorm gets going. You need a bunch of Land Auras on a single land, and then you play some Untappers, which also cantrip, and then you generate absurd amounts of mana and go from there. Cajun's going to be tapping out for a turn 2 Performer of Desire. But wow! Hersey has the mana to reconsider it. So this is a new innovation from Hersey as far as I know. The main deck reconsiders and gives it interaction while also being fine when comboing off since it just cycles. And Hersey has a second Prismatic Leyline on the island. This is looking really good for them. And main board, I think the only way that Cajun can interact with this is like Ozan grab a Prismatic Leyline with the minus, but instead has Saigura Tam. But Hersey has another reconsider. This is so unlucky for Cajun. Just a string of reconsiders from Hersey. Ooh, but Hersey doesn't have a play here. If Hersey has a fourth reconsider, I'm probably gonna scream. Or sorry, not fourth, but third. Cajun taps 2 for Performer of Desire. Even if Hersey did have the third reconsider, won't be able to counter it. And Hersey tapping the island, maybe realizing, oh wait, I can't actually counter this. I think Hersey's thinking whether or not to tax this, but I don't think taxing this Performer makes sense. Or just cycling the reconsider. No, okay, Hersey just taxes the Performer. I guess I don't get that, because Cajun can't flip the Performer this turn, so there was really no point in doing that. Okay, so Hersey tapping 4 for Conjure Realities. This is really good. So essentially, it functions as basically a Diabolic Tutor in most situations that allows you to immediately cast a card if it costs less than Conjure Reality. So it's 3 CMC or less. This is a really powerful card, basically. Not quite sure what Hersey could be grabbing here. Okay, Till the Fields. That's a weird hit off of Conjure Realities. But I guess just trying to... Oh, no Abound. Okay. I guess that means just using it as a tutor is weird. This is strange. I guess maybe he wants to just hold it up to go off next turn. The problem is this turn, Cajun has the mana to be able to flip Performer of Desire. Especially so if Cajun has, like, let's say, Saigura Tam into Performer of Desire. But nope, it's just going to manually flip the Performer of Desire. Here comes Pyrus. And this basically swings out at minimum for 6 damage to Hersey's face, and then Cajun can either pump it up to an 8/8 or use the extra mana on main 2 to like play something else. So only swinging for 6 is going to keep the that's not a good sign for Hersey, because that means that Cajun has other high impact cards in hand to be able to play this turn. So main 2, just going to be playing a Scorch, hitting Hersey in the face. I almost wonder if Cajun didn't have anything else to play, if Cajun should just use the Forgotten Step, because the red mana persists between turns. But I'm assuming Cajun is going to play something else here that needs a white source. Yep, 3 mana walker, Ozan. And I think, at this point you just Ozan one of the Prismatic Leylines, right? Or does Cajun go for face? Nope. Yeah, because I think Cajun has lethal next turn if he survives this turn. So just grabbing the Prismatic Leyline to prevent Hersey from going off makes sense. This is a precarious position for Hersey because now Hersey is forced to go off this turn, but I don't know if Hersey has like the resources to be able to do that now that Prismatic Leyline's been yoinked. Like Tilda Fields goes +1 mana with the island, but what is Hersey? If Hersey needs like a cantripping card in this grip, and Tilda Fields costs 5 mana, so without the Prismatic Leyline, like there's two modes. There's the Fabled mode, which is what Hersey wants, and there's the base mode. I think Hersey was grabbing the Tilda Fields to hope to Fable it next turn, but now only has 4 mana because of Ozin grabbing the Prismatic Leyline. So Hersey tapping 4 for another Conjure Realities? No, a Moonlit Hunter. Okay, so probably going to Moonlit Hunter, untap this, or untap the forest, cast a Tilda Fields? I don't know. Again, this all depends on what Hersey has in hand. Target the island. Okay. But so Hersey can't generate green mana off this, so probably has like a shifting terrain. Oh god, Hersey's making the mana trackers. That means Hersey's planning to go off this turn. And yeah, there's the shifting terrain. So probably yeah, so shifting the island, untap the forest. This, because of Moonlit Hunter, this goes mana positive, and Hersey gets to draw a card. Okay, tapping 3 for... Not sure what this could be, because I was thinking Rejuvenation, but Rejuvenation is double green. Okay, no, Tilda Fields, and then untap the island, go mana positive again. Goes 2 mana positive because of Moonlit Hunter. Ooh, and Conjure Realities. What can Hersey get with this? I guess like another Tilda Fields wouldn't even be good here. Like a shifting terrain or something? Maybe an Entalon Erasure? Oh no, Rejuvenation. Okay. Entalon Erasure wouldn't be half bad, actually, given that Cajun's tapped out. But, okay, so gonna abound the Rejuvenation off the Conjure Realities. This puts Hersey at 3 mana positive and gets to cantrip. Oh no, Hersey's saying game 2. I think that means they bricked. And yeah, so even though Hersey, I think, went to this matchup favored in game 1 and had like a really strong start with those double reconsiders, just couldn't get there in time. I think they kind of had like a slightly wonky hand, probably, like other than the reconsiders. Well, let's look at sideboarding. So Cajun's side, I think Guiding Light comes in. Farmer's Repose comes in for sure, because Farmer's Repose being able to kill mana auras is super essential to being able to like stall for time. And Guiding Light is really good because it prevents Hersey from shooting you in the face with Fire and Ashes. That means Hersey's only out is Empty the Barracks. On Hersey's side, Hersey's transformative sideboard is weird because I don't think... Wellspring blocks Taichamp. But I don't know. I feel like Hersey's deck just wants to play his combo because I think like it's too slow to be able to like get there with the fair game plan. I think the only thing that's probably coming in is the one of Truth Unveiled, because being able to hit that off of Conjure Reality, because being able to hit the Truth Unveiled off the Conjure Realities is super important. It can really buy Hersey like 2, 3, even more turns, and it cantripping just makes it like pure gas. So those are my predictions for sideboarding. Probably, or maybe Cajun doesn't even bring in the Guiding Lights, actually, because if the thought being that Hersey is going to kill him if she's going off anyways. But also if Hersey like Mystic Arts for both the win cons, Cajun can feel pretty comfortable about putting Empty the Barracks into the Grave and then giving Hersey Fire and Ashes if Cajun has Guiding Light. So maybe like 1 or 2 of Guiding Light, all 3 Farmer's Repos, and then nothing else is my prediction. Okay, we're going into game 2, both players keeping it 7, and oddly reminiscent to last game's start, Island Seek Prophecy from Hersey. So apparently Seek Prophecy, Moonlit Hunter were revealed, and Mysterious Cataract. Hersey takes Mysterious Cataract. I usually think that Moonlight Hunter would be like a high priority target, and grabbing the Mysterious Cataract tells me that this is probably like a hand full of gas but low on lands. So probably Hersey was like, I'll just keep this few lander, have the Seek Prophecy, and hope to hit a land off of it. And that's what Hersey ended up doing, probably. Meanwhile, has the turn to Prismatic Leyline. Things are starting off good for Hersey right here. If Cajun untaps and then just guiding, like not guiding light. If Cajun untaps and Farmers reposes this, would be kind of sad, but otherwise, I think this is a good start for Hersey. So Cajun is Performer of Desire. Yep. This game is such a mirror of the first one. I feel like these are the exact same plays so far, except of course this time Hersey doesn't have the Reconsider for Performer. And as we saw, it only takes like one turn of Hersey like not having stuff for Cajun to just play explosively. So Hersey better and Hersey just playing Mysterious Cataract and passing, not a good sign. So really, we've got to hope that on Hersey's end that they can like go off next turn or something, that they have some play, because otherwise, having a slow, clunky start like this is just something that Cajun's deck will prey on. Hersey does have mana up, so start of combat could like tap the Performer of Desire and then just cantrip. I don't think that would be a good use of Shifting Terrain though. So Cajun is just going to start by attacking with Performer. Hersey saying no effects or no Shifting Terrain coming out here. And let's see what Cajun does main 2. And no, it just goes to end. Interesting. Could be holding up a Farmer's Repose. On end, Hersey is going to play Past, Present, Future. But in response, that's double white. Yeah, going to Farmer's Repose the Prismatic Leyline. Saving that till Hersey was tapped out, probably a smart move, but I also think that you just play that on your turn because that prevents Hersey from like using that mana. And Hersey not countering your Performer Desire, I think, tells you that unless Hersey top decked the Prismatic Leyline, unless Hersey top decked the Reconsider, that she doesn't have it. So Past, Present, Future hits Prismatic Leyline, Conjure Reality, Sleeping Dryads. I think Sleeping Dryads goes to grave here. And then Prismatic to hand, and then Conjure Reality to top of Library. Interesting. Actually bins Conjure Realities and puts the Dryads into hand. I guess having Land Wars is important, but I think Conjure Realities being so versatile is just so good in this matchup. So yep, tapping for that Prismatic Leyline. Doesn't have the mana to... Oh no, wait, does, because Presiding Land is... No, can't do that. Yeah, Prismatic can definitely feel like add 1 mana of any color a lot of the time, but it is only add 1 mana of any color that thing can produce. So Hersey's line of Prismatic Leyline into Sleeping Dryads on the island, the same turn, was illegal. So instead, Hersey just gets a Prismatic Leyline on the island, which is definitely, I think, slower than what Hersey wants to be, because Hersey wants to go off next turn, given that Cajun here has the lands to be able to flip Performer of Desire, or could have the lands. If Cajun doesn't have a single land in that grip of 6, then of course, yeah, this Performer is just going to stay unflipped. And that basically puts pressure on Hersey. Win next turn or you lose. Interesting. Choosing not to flip Performer Desire this turn, instead playing Headwind Glider. I don't know if this is the right call, because I don't think Hersey has any removal main. And Performer Desire is so scary. I guess, okay, also tapping out for Sigurd Tam, who, definitely good. And then probably going to +1 Tam, swing with the Performer, and Tam for 5. Oh, interesting. Instead, using the other +1 to make Headwind Glider into a 3, basically make it a 3-1 with Vigilance, or sorry, 3-2 with Vigilance. So swings out with 5, but doesn't create the cat tokens like I expected. I think it's functionally similar, but it leaves Headwind Glider untapped, which I don't think matters much in this matchup, because Hersey's never going to be attacking with stuff. So I think Hersey's like definitively dead next turn, unless they have something they can do here. Is able to cast the Sleeping Dryads on the island, So now does Hersey have untappers in that 3-hand clutch? Tapping 4 for Moonlit Hunter? No, Conjure Realities. I guess that's why they binned the previous Conjure Realities, because they already had one. Moonlit Hunter would have been really good here, because then it would untap this on ETB, and then Hersey could start doing some stuff. Has Moonlit Hunter... Ooh, okay, so grabs Moonlit Hunter with Conjure Realities, has Rejuvenation in hand to be able to abound with the Conjure Realities. So it can untap all of this, goes, I think, 2 or 3 mana positive, 3 mana positive, can cast the Moonlit Hunter untapping this, and this is where Hersey has to start going off. Shifting Terrain. But Hersey only has 1 card in hand, so is really at risk of bricking here. Because has the mana, just needs the card flow. Has a Reconsider, can cycle it. This is the fair use that we were talking about. And another Reconsider, just cycling it. Oh my god, 3 Reconsiders in a row? What is this? What a wild sequence of Reconsiders. Like, I feel like in every game I've seen Hersey play, and Hersey's just had some wild Reconsiders. Okay, has Primal Resurgence on the land, but then Hersey needs like something to cantrip here. Is tapping the island, so that last card in hand. An Entalon Erasure. Oh my god, yeah, this just refills Hersey's hand. Cajun's completely tapped out, so can't do anything. I think that this is a good position. This is an amazing position for Hersey. Because just being able to refill your hand at this position, like, I don't think, because that was like, Cajun's only hope was Hersey bricks out here, and Erasure, like, precludes that. So discards 3 lands off of Erasure, yep. Those just don't help anymore. Now the question is, what are the other 4 cards, and are they helpful? If there's 4 lands again, which is unlikely, but could happen, then Hersey just bricks. But no, has Sleeping Dryads. And again, every one of these spells that Hersey casts just goes insanely mana positive now because of Moonlit Hunter. Okay, Seek Prophecy. Probably hoping to grab like an untapper, Buoyant Thoughts. Buoyant Thoughts, I think, is probably the best hit here. Another Conjure Realities works, though, because it's an unconditional tutor. And bins a Rejuvenation and Past, Present, Future. Past, Present, Future, yeah, it's not really useful here. Rejuvenation is still nice, but Conjure Realities is much more reliable. And I think Conjure Realities for Buoyant Thoughts here, probably. Or could just get, what do you call it? Could get Pocket Aces right here. But I think that, nope, yeah, Buoyant Thoughts. And abounds the Reconsider. Those are all 4 copies of Reconsider in Hersey's deck. Though actually, I guess since Entalon Erasure shuffles your graveyard back into your deck, it could be one of the same previous copies of Reconsider. So, and yep, hard casting the Buoyant Thoughts, going God knows how much mana positive, but more importantly, drawing Hersey back into hopefully more gas. Okay, Shifting Terrain. Another Prismatic Leyline. Past, Present, Future, just desperately cantripping. This does get something back from the graveyard, so could just grab another Buoyant Thoughts, refill hand. Yep. It's an island from the hand. So probably, yeah, Prismatic to top, island to grave, Buoyant Thoughts to hand. Recasting Buoyant Thoughts. I don't see any way for Hersey to really brick here. As soon as Hersey hits Pocket Aces, it's just kind of, it's game over for Cajun. So just Sleeping Dryads, probably also going to play the Prismatic Leyline. Oh my god, okay. Another Entalon Erasure. This is interesting. Because I feel like Hersey wouldn't play this unless the other 5 cards in their graveyard, or sorry, the other 5 cards in their hand were like not useful. And I almost feel like Hersey should have played the Prismatic Leyline that we know that they got off of the Buoyant Thoughts first, especially because like because I feel like Hersey wants to be like thinning their deck to have a chance of hitting the 1x copy of Pocket Aces. So just playing more from your hand before casting Entalon Erasure makes more sense to me. And yep, we're seeing copy number 5 of Reconsider. Seek Prophecy. Another Conjure Realities. At this point, should Hersey just grab pocket aces? Okay, if Hersey has like a draw spell in hand, just grab pocket aces, I think. Though I don't know Hersey's deck. So it's probably the right answer just to grab another Buoyant Thoughts or Buoyant Thoughts. But yeah. Oh, nope. I was right. Here comes the pocket aces now. And yep, it's going to abound it. So now all of Hersey's win cons are now put into the deck. And Buoyant Thoughts. So just like a really good chance of hitting a win con here. So I think the 4 cards that Hersey probably shuffled in were Truth Unveiled, Mystic Arts, Fire and Ashes, and Empty the Barracks. Mystic Arts plus Fire and Ashes plus Empty the Barracks is a deterministic kill. So any one of those 3 cards will kill. Meanwhile, Truth Unveiled, with 10 cards in graveyard, and that's probably only going to increase as Hersey continues to go off. That even if Hersey somehow bricks at this point, that would give Hersey the mana to be able to essentially just gain a bunch of life back and then potentially survive and try to go off another turn. Oof. So Hersey's going to play Past, Present, Future. You can use this to grab Conjure Realities from graveyard and then use Conjure Realities to tutor up a win con from their deck. So Hersey wins the game right here. We're going to a game 3. Yep, here it comes. Conjure Realities, Fire and Ashes to the face for, just about 100 damage. Okay, so we're getting into game 3. Cajun went on a mill to 6, or not, mull to 6, while Hersey did a mull to 5. I think for both players, depending on what they got in those mulls, it's definitely good to get it. So Cajun with the turn 2 performer, no white mana so far, which means no way to interact with Hersey. But Hersey just playing a turn 1 island and passing, you gotta be happy to see that. And Hersey just plays a forest and passes. What does Hersey have in hand to justify this? Because you need either cantrips to find stuff, or or maybe has Past, Present, Future going to be casting it on end. But you need at least one mana aura, right, to be able to justify keeping a hand. Maybe didn't want to go further down. But I wonder what the 7 and 6 were. Anyways, Cajun has the turn 3 Sigura Tam. So attacks for 5. Next turn can flip Performer of Desire and swing in for 6 plus 3, 9 damage. This means Hersey has to win in 2 turns. Has a Prismatic Leyline now, but yeah, just going to end other than that. And I think Hersey just might be too slow to win against this crazy start from Cajun. So interesting. I guess Cajun doesn't have the 4th land for a Performer, so is instead going to use the 2nd +1 of Sigura Tam to give Performer +2/+0 haste and vigilance. And then Pyrus flips after that. So it's now, in response, Hersey has the Shifting Terrain to be able to tap it and cantrip. So Hersey still staying alive, saving themselves for another turn. And this means unless Cajun has a Scorch here, Cajun is basically doesn't have anything this turn. No, has a Headwind Glider. But yeah, next turn untaps with Pyrus and can maybe kill a Hersey from there, which might sound like hyperbole, but then that's just how good Pyrus is, depending on how much what else Cajun has in hand. If Cajun has something to turn on Headwind or turn on Headwind Glider, yeah. But Hersey just plays a Prismatic Leyline and goes to end, which this gives Hersey the potential to go off next turn, but next turn might be too far off, because guaranteed Cajun has a minimum of 5, has a minimum of 8 damage here, which puts Hersey on a 2-turn clock. And if Cajun has some other let's say like has a land plus Seto-san that just ends the game. Now he's going to be tapping 3 Ozin. Yeah, and can now Ozin grab a... Ooh, but yeah, Hersey's definitely going to reconsider that. Yeah, because at this point, Hersey's mana aura is being grabbed. Basically just means Hersey loses the game. Still, since it's an on-cast trigger, Headwind Glider does get pumped. Is now a 1-2. So Cajun attacks out for 9 damage this turn. Or actually, no, sorry. It'll still be 8 because now Cajun doesn't have the mana to pump up Pyrus. Oh wait, no, I forgot. Pyrus creates its own mana on attack. So Cajun could still kill Hersey here if Cajun has like burn main 2. Otherwise, Cajun just deals 10 damage in total. 3 from the cats, 6 from Pyrus, and then 1 from Headwind Glider. Yep, just swinging out with everything for 10. And yep, uses the mana on Pyrus itself. So yeah, sorry, it would have been 8 damage without the pump, but uses the mana from Pyrus to pump itself. Does 10 damage. So Hersey is definitively dead next turn, but Cajun is also tapped out. So Hersey has to try and go off here. So that's a start. It will be 1 mana positive and cantrips. Ooh, it has the mana for Buoyant Thoughts. This is really good. Even though it's mana neutral, it will give Hersey like a bunch more options. I guess having another land to be able to thin your deck isn't bad either. Oof, and has the Fabled Till the Fields. This island now produces 5 mana. It has Moonlit Hunter. This is kind of perfect for Hersey. Depending on what other 5 cards Hersey has in hand, I think this is probably just a win. Seek Prophecy, what is Sir Hersey going to hit off of this? So, revealing a past, present, future, rejuvenation, and a mysterious cataract. Hersey's definitely taking the past, present, future here because it allows Hersey to be able to recur the Buoyant Thoughts and draw into even more gas. And it also allows Hersey to dump this island, which at this point Hersey's trying to go off this turn. They're not going to get another chance to play a land. And we know that they hit a rejuvenation off the top of the library, which they left on top of the library. So Hersey's definitely going to be going even more mana positive, cantripping even more. And this is definitely a situation where it's like bricking is unlikely. It's possible, but also like Hersey has such overwhelming card advantage and is going to be cantripping to like hell and back. So rejuvenation. Shifting Terrain, Seek Prophecy. Ouch, and grabbing Conjure Realities to hand with the Seek Prophecy, that's really good. I think at this point Hersey has enough mana to tutor up. Depends on what the other 5 cards Hersey has in hand are, but probably feels comfortable Conjure Realities into Pocket Aces or just Conjure Realities into... Oh, generating red mana. Does Hersey have the WinCon main deck? If so, this does just end the game. Nope, but does have the Pocket Aces to be able to shuffle them in. And if Hersey has like a past, present, future in hand, then can just recur the Conjure Realities and then grab the WinCon. Oh no, it has another Conjure Realities from hand. And that's it. Wow, that was so close for Cajun. But in the end, Hersey takes it 2-1 over Cajun.